Hey everybody, this is Mr. Storm. This is going to be a quick video. I'm just going to show you a couple of tricks on how to move around in Unity 3D and how to just get used to using the 3D controls and stuff in Unity. So I'm just going to call this test. Come on. I'm going to call this test 2000 because I probably have a test already. I'm going to make sure it's 3D and click Create Project. Ignore this project. All right. Yeah, you can see all my icons. It's gross and messy. I get it. Okay, now while this is opening up, one of the things you need to learn or get used to with Unity 3D as opposed to 2D is that you have three directions that you can move in. And so it's going to take a bit to get used to how to move around in those three directions. I've linked some articles in the online resources for this section. Go through those articles. Those are great. But really the best way to learn is by playing around and getting in here and actually moving around. Okay, so this is Unity 3D, and I'm actually going to move some stuff around here so that it's a little bit easier to see what I'm doing in the scene view, because I really only care about the scene view in this video. All right, so this is a 3D game now. When you open up a new game in Unity 3D, you're going to see that we have a couple of different things here. We have the main camera by default, and we have a directional light by default. Now the thing about this directional light is it doesn't matter. Its physical position in the game doesn't actually matter. It's going to act kind of like the sun, but the angle is going to matter, and we'll see that in our first project. Okay, so let's talk about how to move around in this new 3D environment. Well, up here you can see we have three different options. We have Y, X, and Z. Now with 2D, we were only focused on Y and X. Now we have this new Z value that allows us to move in Z space. Now Y, I'm just going to move this directional light. Y is going to move up and down. Okay. X is going to move on that, and you can see it's kind of moving not straight across, it's moving on a slant. It's because this X value or this X plane is pointed in that direction. If we rotate this way and move over, and I move the X, it's going to be moving back and forth, right? It's all about which direction we're actually facing. Okay, and the Z is going to go that way, right? Because this compass right here is telling me which way my Z axis is facing. Now, as you can see, as I rotate around, that compass is changing. So pay attention to your compass when you're positioning your objects, because it's going to help you orient yourself properly. You can also click on one of these axes on the compass to change your view to that plane. So now I'm on the Z axis. Okay, and I can look at the X axis and that kind of stuff. All right, so I'm going to rotate it back over here. Now, a couple ways to move around. Easiest way is if you hold down the mouse wheel, if you click it down, you can hold it and just kind of pan around the view. All right, that actually is a shortcut selector for this tool right here, the hand tool. If you select the hand tool and have that selected, then you just use the left mouse to click and move around. If you hold the right mouse button, then your hand tool turns into an eyeball, and you can use the eyeball to kind of look around, but you're not actually moving in the scene. But notice that that eyeball has a little, I don't know, kind of like a Tetris piece next to it on the eyeball icon. That means I can use the WASD keys to actually move around in my scene like it's a first-person shooter, right? So if you're used to first-person shooter controls, that's going to help you move around. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. And then along with, just like with Unity 2D, you have not only a hand tool, but you have the move tool. You can just grab and move, and you can grab this box to move things around like that. You have the rotate tool. Now the rotate tool looks a lot better in 3D because you have more axes that you can rotate on. You could actually just grab it. And look, these axes on the rotate tool are color coordinated with the axis of which you would rotate it. So if I have the rotate tool selected and I want to rotate on the Z axis, then I want to grab the blue line here and rotate. Ooh, and the cool thing is, notice that when I rotate that directional light on the Z axis, let's do that, it gets darker because the sunlight's not shining on my horizon anymore. So you can make a cool sunset scene if you do it like that. That looks great. We also have the scale, which isn't really going to matter for your directional light, but scale is there. And then we have this, which isn't really going to do anything for this kind of object, but that's great for your rect tool is great for your user interface stuff that we're going to do. And then we have move, rotate, or select. So this is cool because this tool basically just grabs all three of these and it gives it to you in one thing. So you can scale. Oh, where's my scale? I can't see the scale. But move and rotate are pretty easy. It gives it to you in both. So anyway, other than that, I mean, really the easy or the big differences are already covered, as you can see. I mean, there's really not much that's different between Unity 3D and 2D. You're just going to want to get used to moving around in 3D space and thinking in 3D instead of in 2D. Your main camera becomes way more important in 3D because your main camera, if we look here on the game view, let's say I bring in a cool object. I want to bring in this new, I don't know, a capsule or something, right? And I put it right there. I put it here in the scene and I'm super excited about it. If I go to my game view, I can't actually see it because it's behind the main camera. But if I bring it in here, down and over, and go to the game view, where'd it go? Oh, I'm way above the main camera. Let's go over here, bring it down further, and now I'm way below. See how things can be kind of tricky in 3D? You have to move around and look at things from all different angles. Now if I go to the game view, see, now I can see it because I've moved it into the game, the camera's view. And you can click on the camera to see kind of a preview of what it's looking at. So you can, like, let's see. One thing I like to do is have the game view here and the scene view here, so I can move things around and see what it looks like on the camera as I'm moving it. That's a helpful tool as well. You can do that. But anyway, it's just going to take some getting used to. It's going to take some getting, playing around with it for a little while. Make a couple of games before you get super frustrated. But yeah, so that's Unity 3D. The first project this term is really going to help you kind of figure out how to move around and place objects in 3D space. But if you have any questions or you're super confused about it, let me know and I'll come sit next to you and we'll work through it together. All right, thanks for paying attention. I'll see you next time.